Most companies are investing a lot of money and resources into the important part, completely forgetting about the authorization forms that are supposed to be so simple but appear to be so complicated at most products. And today we're going to talk about these common mistakes, and I will tell you about how to build a simple authorization form that will not scare down your users exactly on this part. Hello, my name is Veronica Dalik, and I'm a service designer and representative of a Converate team that is specializing in service design and digital experiences. So in this video, we'll be talking about how to build the authorization form and how to keep your conversion rate on a high level. So let's talk about how the basic authorization form will look like. Most probably it has personal information requests like, for example, name, surname, or even pronouns. It depends on the region you are using this authorization form. Then it follows with some authorization information like email, password, or repeat a password. And then it comes to the captcha that is supposed to prove if the user is real or not, or ends up with a button, sign up. So this was like the basic experience that it's supposed to be. And most of the time, companies and teams, they just are adding a lot of extra stuff that is making this easy part so complicated. For example, security questions, too complex password requests, requests for personal information except for this name and surname and so on. And this is really most of the time not necessary. So we will talk about today about different parts of the authorization form, like password requests, security questions, captchas, and other steps to follow to authorize for a platform. So we will start with the password. It's not necessary for most of the products to request a complex password that has, I don't know, more than 20 symbols, some extra symbols, and so on. Most of the time, when people are creating such complicated passwords, they are forgetting them and they cannot use them anymore. And most of the time, after they have created such password, they come up to the platform second time and they click on the button reset password, and they go through the same problem. The next topic will be the email phone verification. Those teams who are adding this to their authorization forms, most of the time they simply forget to check if it works. And here we have got the situation. This email check is a required field. And instead of simply getting a user an opportunity to confirm their email like on an optional basis, the user have to do this anyway. Otherwise, they will get no access to the platform. And then they just simply don't receive any email. And they lose an access to the platform. And what they're doing, they're just leaving the platform and searching for competitors, they say. And most of the time, some designers, when trying to understand the reasons for lower conversion rate, they're searching for the reason inside the platform. But they are forgetting about the authorization form that is supposed to be really simple, but it's not. And this is the case when the users are giving up their communication with the platform. So if you have this issue, if you have this kind of confirmation stuff, check it 100 times before you launch it. Because each confirmation that doesn't work will definitely destroy your communication with your users. It doesn't matter how cool your products are, it doesn't matter how many functionalities. If your authorization form doesn't work, you won't simply make it. Therefore, you need to pay attention if everything is working well. The next case will be the security questions. So let's come up into the situation when you are the representative of the product that requires higher security, and you can do nothing with that you just have to add some security question, verifications, and so on. What to do in this case? That you cannot avoid this, because this is required by the product logic. You need to explain to your users why you need this. Because just add your security question, and users will think like, why the hell do I have to do this? Why do I need to waste my time? So you need to explain your security question will help you to further restore your access to this account in case something happens. It has to be optional in the best case. If it's required, then there could be some issues because little people want to waste their time on this. And these security questions have to be really simple, not like super personalized questions about your first experiences and so on, but just like what's your favorite music and so on. It could also be the case. But some products are using really complex questions. Therefore, you need to be really attentive to what you are proposing there. Because also it's good to add an opportunity to allow a user to add their security question by themselves. Yes, it won't be working for everybody because most of the time users are pretty lazy to do such things, but there are people who most probably will appreciate this opportunity to add their personal security question. We are simply coming up now for some kind of conclusion about what to do with your authorization form. First things first, you need to communicate with your team and you need to try it yourself minimum 10 times. In order to understand what people feel when they have to authorize for your platform, you need to check everything from adding up the personal information and authorization information till adding up the security questions, confirmations, and so on. If everything is working, you are to communicate with your team how many steps does it actually take. If it takes more than 2 or 3 steps, you have a lot of risk to end up as this case that was shown as is shown, unfortunately. Therefore, you need to simply understand that the authorization form has to be the same as the complexity of your product. If your product has high complexity, complicated financial stuff and so on, you are to use a complex authorization form. If not, if it's just a free-time product, it's the best solution to use some kind of alternatives like authorization with some other accounts and so on, because it will be the best solution for you. Because in case you have a really easy product for leisure time and you are simply adding up a really complex authorization form with a lot of verification, security questions and so on, it will cause to such a confusion, and most of the time your users will go to your competitors, and you don't want this. So due to this reason, you are to understand which kind of solution is the best for you. And by the end of this video, I have to say that the provided information has a generalized character, and it is based on my experience as a UX and service designer, and also on the experiences of my colleagues as well. And it's also based on the standards and basics that are currently available on the market. So what you need to know is that each product requires an individualized solution. It has to be individual for each product. You can also use this video as a prompt to start a brainstorming session with your team and to understand yourself, figure out, okay, which steps are necessary, which are not, which are really overwhelming. Thank you very much for your attention. Subscribe to my channel because I'm making the weekly videos about how the service and UX design works and which principles could be really helpful to you if you are not related to design at all. In this channel, we are trying to speak the most understandable language so that people who are not related to design could use the design principles in their life, work and business and could build their life better. Subscribe to this channel and see you in my next videos.